had the craziest thing happen over the last week. We noticed after we came home from Thanksgiving that there was a unique smell in our garage. Not one that we were used to, and at first it just was kind of slight. And then over the last week, it has grown. At first I thought it was the turkey I bought before Thanksgiving that was frozen, and as it thawed, it kind of leaked some juices. So I cleaned that up thinking, okay, maybe that's it. But over the week, the smell has grown and grown and grown. We sent our kids out looking, and our daughter Eliza came back saying, I think it's this. And it was the coolant for my car. I said, no, I don't think that's it. My husband started moving things off the wall. I checked to make sure the deep freezer was still plugged in because we've had a bad experience with that one time. That was fine too. So finally, after a week of this, I could not stand it anymore. And I got up this morning determined to find the smell. So I went in our garage and I pulled everything out, everything I could move myself, and started looking for the smell. You know, I don't know about you, but sometimes when I want to clean something up, sometimes it gets worse before it gets better, right? That's kind of my cleaning way. If I clean my office, it's going to get crazy before it gets good. But I also think that's kind of true for life sometimes, that we often learn the best and the hardest lessons when we make the mistake first. You know, the people of Israel, they struggled to listen to God just like we do. They made their own messes. They wanted to be their own bosses. They wanted to do it their own way, right? They wanted to seek their own interests and let other things take the place of God, have more importance than God in their life. And in the scriptures, we call those idols, things that we place higher than God. And when we place other things higher than God, we tend to make things pretty stinky. So when things or people or ideas become more important than God, that's when we know we're making our biggest mistakes. So the prophet Micah is writing to the people of Israel, and he writes a series of warnings and a series of prophecies about what is coming. They're going to learn the hard way. And their lives are going to, they're going to be taken apart before they find healing. Micah writes in chapter 4, verses 6 and 7. On that day, says the Lord, I will then gather up the lame. I will assemble those who were driven away and those who have been harmed. I will make the lame into survivors and those driven away into a mighty nation. I love the way Eugene Peterson writes it in the Message. He says, on that great day, God says, I will round up all the hurt and the homeless, everyone who has been bruised or banished. I will transform the battered into a company of the elite, and I'll make a strong nation out of a lost lot. You know, Micah doesn't say it's hopeless. He says, these mistakes are going to happen and you're going to lose a lot, but there will come a day where all your brokenness will be healed. The Lord will bring together all those, I love this, who are limping, who have been hurt, who no longer walk with the same stride they used to walk with. Or the Hebrew can also mean who are curved over, who are aching, right? He will take those who have maybe done damage to themselves or by their own stubbornness, their own will, right? And he will pull together those who have lost their way. Quite literally, the people who have lost their land, the dispersed, right? That's his original audience, but also those of us who tend to wander away, tend to like to be our own leaders, to go our own way. Those who choose to listen to other things and other people other than God. Micah says, the lame and the limping, God will make survivors, and the lost he will make into a mighty nation. More literally, I will make a strong people out of the long lost and from the extremes, right? From hurt to strength, from lost to found. You know, that's really what the gift of healing is, right? When we allow God to be in charge of our life, to be Lord, right? Then we find that even though we have made a mess of things, he can put us back together. You know, this passage is categorized as a restoration passage. God is in the business of restoring things, of restoration, taking what is damaged and broken and battered and making it not just like how it used to be, but better, new, 2.0, right? Now my garage, it took a while, right? It took me about 3 hours this morning to take everything out, it gave me a chance to throw away the things that should have been thrown away a long time ago, to clean up the messes that we have made and left, right? To move everything, to check under everything. And finally, I moved that big fridge that had the turkey in it one more time, only to notice that there's a grate at the bottom. There's this kind of weird section. And as I started to look, I got out my little phone flashlight and I found it. There was a dead mouse stuck in the grate of my refrigerator. Oh, it was disgusting. And so I had to unscrew the back and I got my tongs, and honestly, it freaked me out, right? So I failed. I waited for my husband to come home and he had to do it. He had to bring restoration. Now the truth is, it still smells a little bit. It's gonna take a while, right? It might take a minute, it might take a day for it to get back to normal. You know, when we have some pretty big stinky stuff in our life, some brokenness that's been there a long time, situations maybe we created or things that have happened to us, harm that others have done, it might take a minute to find the healing that God gives us. But God is offering us restoration. It may take longer than we want. Sometimes the healing work, right? Sometimes healing is work. Sometimes things actually hurt when they start to heal. But that does not stop the truth that God promises us healing. He promises us the salve of his grace, right? Not just getting things back to normal, but God promises that our healing will make us better than we started. So let's walk together in this a little bit. If you would like prayer over maybe a situation or something that you've been dealing with, I would love to pray for you. If you would like to place, whether just a comment, a phrase, a first name, a situation in the comment box below, I promise to pray over that with you today. I will gladly pray for you to experience God's healing in this season. I do want to invite you to like, subscribe, and share so that maybe some others might experience the healing of God. God has given us every gift we need. Every gift we need. All we need to do is allow him to gift it in our life now. Welcome to this VlogVent. I'm glad you joined me, and I will see you again tomorrow.